So to finish off this series of videos, we're going to show you what we call a K16 suspension set, which includes intermediate suction pads, and the actual suction pads themselves are spaced along the beam, two sets of either side of the Clad Boy. The chain set is a 5-leg chain set. You've got one leg to the machine, and you've got two other legs, one to an anchor point along the extension arms, and the third leg each side is to the end of the actual final extension arm. There is one further configuration that places one more extension arm beyond this point to move the suction pads another 800 millimeters away. This particular one I'm showing you now is suitable for roof panels up to 24 meters long. If you include the final extension bar at the end, it's suitable for roof panels up to 26 meters long. That's all subject to panel type and core thickness, of course. Along here we've got the intermediate suction pads, which are connected with the T-pieces I showed you earlier. We've also got an intermediate safety strap set. Again, this is repeated at either side of the machine, and it sits on an adapter which is located on the extension arm. The safety strap provides another additional point of support in case the panel is released from the suction pads. And the chain collars applied as before. The configuration, the location of the chain collars and the intermediate safety straps and the intermediate roof set will be detailed on the configuration drawing we provide you. You'll notice here that there is quite a bit of sag at each extension bar. There's obviously some movement, and as you assemble the machine to this sort of length, the extension arms fall away from the actual machine. Machine's still in the cradle, but what you'll have to do to avoid the suction pads going onto the ground, you'll have to put some sort of cardboard, or we're using a short panel length here, at the ends so that the final suction pads can rest on the panel surface and they're not on the ground itself. Once the chain is under tension and the crane lifts the chain up, the actual pads will come off the ground, or off the panel rather, and the beam will hang relatively straight along the Clad Boy. With these sort of configurations, you need to make sure that all 8 suction pads are located on the panel surface, and that they're flat on the panel, and that they've got some sort of compression onto the metal surface, and only then attempt to get suction. And you'll also find that this sort of extended configuration takes a little bit longer to generate suction, because obviously each time you operate the machine's got to evacuate all these hoses, and actually also the suction pads as well. So the speed of operation for this sort of extended configuration will be much slower than a shorter configuration, but don't forget you're lifting a 24 to 26 meter panel. And again, just to repeat the obvious, wind speed effects or wind effects on panels of this length can be quite extraordinary. So pay attention to the wind speed limits that we give you, and they're repeated in the instruction manual with the machine. And they are the maximum in gust conditions. They're not averages, they're the maximum. Don't attempt to lift panels beyond those wind speeds. Various other information can be gleaned from other videos we've put online, or on other video courses we publish. That includes information about the panel films, about changing the suction pad seals, and also do's and don'ts of all types of vacuum lifting. So any problems you have with any configurations, including these extended, relatively rare configurations, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you for watching these videos.